What are your thoughts investing into cryptocurrencies? You're young? Well, I get. All right, next subject.
No, I mean, that is, crypto is just such a tough thing, to be frank with you. I realize, you can't go an hour or two in a day without hearing about it from somewhere, somehow, right?
Yeah, right.
I'll give you a couple of my views and thoughts. I can tell you right now, for the last 2 years, probably at least. I know crypto's been around a lot longer than that, but at least for 2 years, I've reached out to clients, on a quarterly basis, and I actually don't have that many that actually want to invest in it. They're interested in it. They want to learn about it. They follow it, but most of them aren't ready to put their toe in the water. But just to give you some views, so when I invest, I have, I'm looking at fundamentals, which is financials, right? It's, revenue and profits and PE ratio, PEG ratio, things like that I can value a company on. And then once I have a handful of companies that I like the fundamentals, I go to technical aspects, which are like, the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, trend lines, MACD, Bollinger Bands, RSI, to make buy and sell decisions after I get comfortable with the fundamentals. So when I come from that world and I move to cryptocurrency, I'm like, where's my customers? Where's my business?
Yeah,
Where's
there's no
my
financial statements.
Where's my revenue?
Yeah.
Where's my profits? Where's my tech? It's just, it's very, very hard. I jokingly say it's the next greater fool's investment, and I do mean jokingly, because there are a lot of brilliant people investing in it, and there's no joke about the kinds of investors that are interested in it, and frankly have made a lot of money on it. And I also think I think there's a lot of risk. People talk about like it's some kind of hedge and other things like that, or it's a store of value, and it's really too volatile for that, and it can go up and down. I mean, you just seen in the month of December, it can go from the low to mid 50, talking about Bitcoin now, low to mid 50s all the way down to the 40s and back up, and it jumps around and trades 24 hours a day and on the weekends, and it's crazy, and it's tough. So there's other risks too, like who knows if huge economies like China want to make their own, or if certain economies want to outlaw it, or it's also got tax problems. Since it's not a currency, you can buy and sell things with the US dollar and not generate gains on the dollar itself. But when you use cryptocurrency to buy something, it generates a tax transaction. So, that kind of creates a problem. Like for folks who spend a lot of Bitcoin, every time they spend their Bitcoin, they're creating a tax transaction, and a lot of them don't even realize that, probably. But it's tough. So generally speaking, there's obviously a lot of interest. Since there's no fundamentals for me, I think the only way you can really look at it is technically, buy it on dips and things like that. And I generally tell my clients, don't put a whole lot into it, maybe put a couple of percent into it, 2 to 3%, be ready for a wild ride, and be ready to lose it all if something unforeseen happens, or maybe you make a lot of money.
Right.
Who knows? So it's definitely interesting and exciting. There's no doubt about that.